As you can see, I used my square. On my square, I drew my pencil lines. You can maybe see them in the reflection. I've placed my square in the center of my paper, and I just traced the corners so that I can see where my square will go back each and every time. The important part was that my lines started on one side of the square and went all the way to the other side. Same side of the square is where the line starts and stops. Some of them are more complicated, organic shapes. Some of them are basic geometric shapes. Remember your symmetry when you're doing this. You're only drawing half of a shape. Once you get your shapes drawn, you need to very carefully cut them with your scissors. You're going to need to cut one smooth line. You're not going to be able to, as I like to say, snip or trim things. You're going to have to stay committed to the one smooth line cut. And then you're going to cut, this is a double, so I'm cutting the inside part of that. I started with something simple to make it easy on myself. So I've laid that back where it belongs, matching up my little corner spots. And you can tell that I then put the pieces reversing or flipping them like I call it like a book. So to make sure I get the center of that circle correct, I place it where it belongs correctly into it, see, like a puzzle piece, and then I'm able to know where I put the glue before I flip it over. The glue goes on the part that's technically up. I will line it up carefully, making sure my inside square is correct. This gets pushed down. I need to put glue on the back side of this part. And I have to be sure I'm careful with the placements, or else it's going to become overly complicated trying to get that back. I like to do it this way sometimes because as you cut, you can place your pieces where they belong. I'm going to move on to this. It's a more complicated organic line. So you can see I need to carefully cut in one pass. If you accidentally go off the line, don't worry about that. You'll erase that pencil later. I don't want you to think you need to snip it or trim it to get it back perfectly on that line. You'll be all right. You'll be able to erase any mistakes that you might have with your cutting on or off the line area. So there's one. This is very complex because there's going to be a total of 3 cuts. So here's cut number 2. And then finally cut number 3. Make sure you keep all of your pieces. That's why we're going to work right on our tabletop. If we start brushing aside some of this, then we end up losing pieces that are important. So next, we're going to place this back exactly where it belonged. Notice my corners help line that up. The first piece, look how I fit it in there. I use my glue on the top of it. Now I flip it over like a book. That's exactly where it belongs. Flip it over like a book. Now I put this piece where it belongs. Put glue on the top of it before I flip it like a book. Put the last piece where it belongs, exactly lined up where it belongs. Glue on top. It's a tiny piece. Glue on top of it and then flip it like a book. So each time you flip it back and forth. Uh-oh, look at that one got flipped when I was trying to put glue on it. Flip it back like a book. That gives it that echo or the repeated line inside each other. All right, now on to the next cut. Again, I'm going to carefully cut on I cut the biggest line first. Try to stay on your pencil line. If you go off of it, not to worry. You'll be able to erase stray pencil lines at the end. Cut number 1. Cut number 2. Notice how I keep the scissors still and I move the paper. That's the best way to get a smooth cut. And now the tiny little cut there in the middle, like a donut. Uh-oh, I straight off my line. Like I said, it's not a big deal. It's no longer like a donut. It's very wobbly. There's all my pieces. Let me put this exactly where it belongs. On the corner. Let's put these pieces, this piece right here where it belongs. Glue on the top, or glue with what part's facing me. Then I flip it like a book. Let's put this piece in the puzzle where it belongs. Flip it like a book.
Do you hear that little girl in the bathroom? She's doing it was so funny. She's doing that Elsa thing in Frozen 2. Yeah. She's really experimenting with voice. I don't know if I'm supposed to do this next portion of the video because I need like screen, but I don't want to film up here. She's still doing it out there.
Good God. Good goodness.